aside, you'll be fine.
Not anymore.
All right, everyone, it's 3:01, and we'll go ahead and we'll call this meeting to order. Let's all stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was gonna say we have a full house, but it looks like they're all employees.
All right, so roll call. So in attendance, we have Bob, Ed, Carol, Doug, and myself.
Okay, and before we go any further,
Yeah.
I want to raise a toast to our first meeting in the new budget year.
There we
Here,
go. Cheers.
Let's start spending.
All right, so I would.
No, I didn't mean that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
Let's
misinterpreted.
start
Sounds like my
saving.
comment.
So
Change order.
approval of the final agenda. Do we have any changes? None?
No.
All right. So then we'll go ahead and move into public comment.
I have one person signed up for public comment. That's Judy Peak, and it's regarding parking at the fun park.
Good afternoon, y'all. Judy Peak, Eagle Point. I'm questioning the parking because now there are signs up that says no parking. Previously, when I asked, and Flavia, I think that was before you came on, I spoke with Doug, and during holidays, we use that for parking for our overflow because we've got no parking on the streets. So this is going to be an issue for us that we will need to address if there's no parking at that fun park.
So I guess my question is, there's the no parking signs, it's parking for users. So are you asking for an exemption during the holidays or special events for your community?
Yes, because we prefer them not to be on the street, if at all possible, just in case there was an emergency and emergency vehicles needed to get through. And kids come home from college, you know, they got 2 or 3 kids and 2 or 3 cars are everywhere. So if we could have a designated area for parking.
What was the idea of abandoning the parking?
We put up signs that say no overnight parking because cars would be left there for days on end. And we would get the reports from the sheriff. And then also with the consideration of us moving the dog park to the fun park, we need.
Why don't we just have a sticker for Eagle Point residents that we can give out?
Oh, okay,
sticker.
something that.
Something to identify that, and if it's a car that's not a stickered car.
So
it's
before we do that, I'm concerned with liability, like, because now they're using them and, you know, it will be no difference of us allowing, you know, parking over here in this area. So, I mean, I'm willing to have staff looking at what can we do, because I know you have the church there, so if anybody's more willing to give you, because I think we may have, 10 parking spaces max?
Yes, we have reached out to the church, and they were willing to let us park there, and some people still park there. And all they asked for was a donation in return. Well, some people just took advantage of that, and we
So
know how.
I guess I will tell you what I'll be afraid of, because if they took advantage there, then here. I think I'll give this one to staff and Tony to look into it. Regarding parking on the streets, I guess, I don't know if your HOA is willing to relook at that and maybe allow temporary parking.
Are you talking about the street coming off Gateway Boulevard or the street inside their community? Because I think the street inside your community, fire marshal will never allow it.
Yeah,
They
it
won't
would be
allow
the
it.
street inside the
Not at
community.
night,
Yeah.
What's the,
not enough within the roads.
with the overnight parking, what's the,
19 feet, I think it's.
no, I mean, at the fun park area. What's the problem with someone parking overnight? Or you're just talking about multiple days? And how often does that happen? And how do we even know that's occurring? And what is the problem with that?
So we've had reports from the sheriff's office, and I've personally seen, there's a Veloster there, that's an orange Veloster that's been there for days on end. Work trucks get parked there. And again, with the consideration of us moving the dog park there, we need all of the parking spots that we can get.
So we're trying to not create a new behavior.
I'll come back with an option, but I can sympathize with what they've got because there's no place else.
So
No place else
Tony
to
and I
park.
can look into it and bring a report back at the next
Okay.
meeting.
How about, would we give, who's the management company at,
Compass Rose.
but they're not on site, right? They're all remote.
No.
Yeah.
Not remote.
I was trying to think of a way that we could allow the HOA to provide a temporary permit, just because I don't want them to go in through here. Like if someone wanted to park there for the weekend or overnight, I don't want them coming to,
That management company, squad.
Yeah.
Believe me.
So I guess we'll leave it up to.
I know that firm. No, I think it's something that we ought to come up with, let staff and Tony come up with something. But the idea of a permit, to me, is the safest way.
With a fee?
And then we just monitor the
fee.
permit. Then if somebody violates it, we tow the car.
Okay.
We'll work on
We'll
that.
work on
on
it
that
and just
because-
get it with Judy, like,
Yeah, we'll work on it too, because part of it is whether you can exclude others from outside the community, or you can have a rate fee differential.
Yep.
For residents, non-residents, that's appropriate.
oh, I see.
All right,
Okay.
we'll bring it back to you.
All right.
okay.
What are the hours at the dog park, Chelsea?
I believe it's sun up to sundown.
Sundown, yeah.
Okay.
Daylight hours.
Okay.
I think we
But
would
But
exclude.
thank you for bringing it to our attention, because sometimes things have consequences that we never thought of. So, you know,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Aye.
Judy.
Anybody else? No?
Anything else?
No, there is no one else signed up and nothing online, so we're good, just the one.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move to item number 6, local achievements and recognitions. And I'll pass this to you.
Yep. So as you notice, our room's pretty colorful today. We've got our staff here. And I just want to preface this with, I have been here a year and a half. Laura, you've been here 3 years. I'm not sure if staff has truly ever been recognized in this type of setting. So we really wanted to make this important to our staff who have some tenure here. So with that, I don't know if the board would like to, or Flavia and Ed, provide the gifts to each employee as I call them up.
Sure.
All right.
You give one, I give one?
So I will start with this. Today, we recognize the years of service of district staff. Their service not only reflects their personal milestones, but also the collective progress and success of the district. First up, Isaac. Isaac has proudly served the Gateway Services District for 6 years as our utility field supervisor. His infectious enthusiasm and commitment to making everyone smile have left a lasting impact. Isaac's wealth of knowledge, expertise, and passion make him a priceless asset to our team. Thank you, Isaac. And Isaac, since Isaac loves Pepsi so much, we have made a number 6 for his 6 years of service with Pepsi cans.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, Isaac. All right. Next up, we have Vicky. Vicky. Vicky has been an essential part of Gateway for 7 years, serving as our utility billing specialist. She's quite possibly the most organized person I have ever met. Her meticulous attention to detail and responsiveness to customers make her an indispensable part of a dynamic duo in our 2-person billing team. We are truly fortunate to have her at Gateway. All right. Next up, Leslie. Much like her, Much like her billing counterpart, Vicky, Leslie has faithfully served Gateway for 7 years. Leslie holds the position of utility billing manager, and her quiet demeanor often requires a visit to her office just to confirm her presence. Nevertheless, her dedication, problem-solving skills, and multitasking abilities have made her a treasured member of our team. Thank you. Next up, Julie. Julie has dedicated 9 years to Gateway, holding the role of office administrator and being the welcoming voice of Gateway. Whether you call our office or pay us a visit, Julie is often your first point of contact with Gateway. Her exceptional interpersonal skills, remarkable memory, and unshakable patience make her a cornerstone of our team, and we are truly fortunate to have her. Congratulations, Julie, on 9 years of outstanding service. Next up, Elle. Elle has been an integral part of Gateway Services for 16 years. She has carried many titles over the years. More importantly, she has contributed to the building blocks of our team. As our environmental specialist, she oversees all 139 ponds and conservation areas in Gateway, among her many other duties. Elle's passion, thoughtfulness, and unwavering dedication make her a tremendous asset to not only our team, but also the residents and businesses of Gateway. Thank you, Elle. Last but not least, Miss Mary. Mary has dedicated 18 remarkable years to the Gateway community. As our most tenured employee, Mary has witnessed the remarkable growth of this district, both in physical expansion and progress. She is a vital part of our team, serving as a utility meter specialist, or more commonly known as a meter reader. Just like Elle, Mary has worn many hats over the years. Since my start in Gateway, I've never seen Mary without a cheerful smile. Her kindness, reliability, and most importantly, her genuine care for our community shine through in all she does. Fortunately, Mary is not afraid of critters and snakes. I truly believe if I said an address, Mary would know exactly where that meter box is. Gateway is undoubtedly a better place with Mary on our team. Thank you, Mary, for 18 years of dedication, and here's to many more. And with that, I'll turn it over to Laura for a couple honorable mentions.
All right, so in addition to these outstanding team members, we also have some honorable mentions who have served the district. Austin Manoli, who is our Assistant Utilities Manager, has been here for 4 years. Bill Shaw, our Utilities Manager, is 4 years. Me, as the Assistant District Manager, for 3. Tim Holland, our Parks and Recreation Manager, 3 years. And Georgia Johnson, our Administrative Assistant, for 3 years. So in closing, I'd like to share a quote from Henry Ford that truly reflects the years of dedication and dedicated service we recognize today. Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I don't think I can top all that, so again, thank you on behalf of the entire board for all the employees that are present here and not in the other ones and behind the scenes.
Thank you.
Well, you're not sticking around for the rest of this,
I said during this Pepsi and rain.
Have a good day.
Let's don't say we did.
All right, so we'll go ahead to advisory committees and items to report. We don't have anything.
No, correct.
Okay. So approval of minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of September 7th and September 22nd.
Second?
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll go ahead and move to consent agenda. Does anybody have anything to pull from?
Just A to quick discussion.
Okay, so, you want to make a motion to approve B through G, through H?
Approve B through H.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Second.
Oh, a motion and a second to approve consent agenda items B through H. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A.
So, go-
The only question I had on this is, will these things require a tower to be built?
We'll be tying into the counties.
So we won't have to have any expensive towers or
No.
anything like that?
There will be a nominal fee for radio that we'll tie into and have to pay the county, but we'll be using the tower that's at the EOC.
And then what kind of range? Will these be just basically the limits of Gateway, or will they 2 miles, 5 miles? What's the range on these?
They act as repeaters, so I believe they're 2 miles.
And then,
Yeah,
and then who's going to be getting these 10 units? Are these going to be people that are predominantly in the field?
yes.
Okay.
There will be one station here.
Okay. A base station?
Yes.
Okay.
And just one quick question. I know when we originally started having a conversation on it, it was more for emergency situations,
Mhm.
but we're going to use these as business day-to-day operations.
They're mainly for emergencies. My experience with these that I had at the beach, staff didn't like to use them on the day-to-day because they have their cell phones. But we'll have them.
But let's
so-
say if it's a project basis, you've got several people here, they need to correspond
Oh,
on a
yes.
quick,
Quick,
so it
yes.
can be leveraged when
Yes.
needed. Okay, but we're not buying them for day-to-day use, we're using for special use.
Yes.
The problem I had is in the economic climate we're in, to spend $56,000 for this, and it basically will only be used during hurricanes and emergencies. We don't have that many of them. And with everybody having cell phones today, I guess I question the need to do it.
So after Hurricane Ian, I can't speak to what happened after Irma, but Hurricane Ian, we rented some radios that we thought would work. They're strong VHF radios. Not only did we lose cell phones, but we lost the ability to use those radios, and staff were not able to communicate without physically coming back here to the office. When you run a utility system and you're trying to respond to clearing roads and things like that, it's imperative that we are able to communicate. Because here we're functioning, we have internet, we have power, we have a generator, but we're not able to communicate with field staff.
I don't argue about that, but I just wonder, it's a lot of money. 2 or 3 day expense every 5 years.
Okay, so I will have a sit on this one. So this is one of the items that I had mentioned. I hate being wrong. I thought the same thing. I was like, I don't disagree that we need it. I just thought the price tag was, significantly. So I did reach out to 2 first responders in the community, one for Collier, and just to see what they're using. I mean, are we getting, the best of the best, and maybe there's a need for something less than that. Again, I don't like being wrong, but I guess this is what we need as a district. I did receive an email from the fire chief with a lengthy explanation on why this is the best thing for the district and why we need it, and why the other ones wouldn't work for what our needs are. And the price has doubled in the last few years. He says that he's just changing the one for the fire department, and they're going at $10,000 each, and this is like $4,300. So again, I didn't disagree on the needs. I didn't like the price tag, but then I did extensive research in the last 2 days, and I couldn't find anything that would meet the needs that we have that were, less expensive. So I just wanted to say out there that the price shocked me, but then when I went out there and looked, that's the price.
This is budgeted,
Yes,
thank you.
within budget too.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bob?
Opposed.
Thank you.
Right, district engineer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Stephen Agapi, Tetra Tech District Engineer. I have our task authorization update. All right, first up, the irrigation pump station generator. We've released our shop drawing review for the generator set. So the contractor will be ordering that. It's a long lead item. So we're waiting for them to get that on order and then provide us a construction schedule. Irrigation force main improvements. Fred had a meeting today with staff to talk about that and get the plans towards 100%. Flowway weir adjustments, project is done. We're just closing out permits. Griffin utility relocation, we're working on punch list items and record drawings. Lower Hawthorne well, we did not receive any bids on the last time. I believe staff received confirmation from SRF that they are allowed to go after quotes individually through whatever contractor is willing to do the work. In the meantime, we've reached out to some of the welling drillers and the well drillers, and one of them in particular seemed interested in taking a second look at it. So hopefully we'll have some good news here shortly. Phase 2, Year 2 Lake Bank restoration. I've got here that we're planning to restart in November. We have a meeting at the end of this month to take a look at that again with Met Tower and get the remaining 4 lakes rescheduled. Gateway Utility Storage Building, bids are due tomorrow for the building. Gateway Admin Building, plan is to resubmit for the DO tomorrow. We were just waiting on some FP&L adjustments to the lighting plan. FY25 Lake Bank design.
So is it going according to plan, or are we behind?
We're behind.
Or what?
We're behind.
We're behind. By a lot?
No, maybe,
A couple months?
no, a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Lake Bank FY25 design, that was approved in September, so that project is getting rocking and rolling. We'll have 30%. We're working towards 60% right now. We'll have a preliminary draft set for staff review. And then as we get to 60, 90, and 100, we'll bring those forward for board review. Pelican Pond bank inspection. This one is completed. On September 20th, we attended the pond subcommittee meeting in Pelican Preserve, and they gave us direction to open a task authorization for the design of the restoration for one of the ponds in Pelican Preserve. So that's in the works. The Pelican Works Maintenance Building, that is underway. The next thing you'll see from us is a conceptual layout for the site plan. That should be going to you in the next meeting. Supplemental Engineers Report FY24. Chelsea probably has a better update for this than me, but.
Yep, that is sitting with bond counsel for their review.
Okay. Development updates, Arborwood Phase 3. They have completed all of the utility punch list items. We're just working on the remaining stormwater items. Daniels Parkway Apartments, they're getting ready to resubmit. I haven't seen the proposed plan for their irrigation, but we should be able to see that pretty soon. Tony provided some comments on one of their easements. We forwarded that back to them. They wanted to make sure everything was tidy before they resubmitted. Santa Luz, we're waiting for them to close out their punch list. Santosa Apartments, the Alta rezone, we returned comments on September 13th and have not received a resubmittal. FP Restoration, we're waiting the first submittal. Prado, I followed up with Alex Heinbaugh from Lennar and just trying to get some clarity on if they've made any movement to address the rear yard drainage, and I haven't heard back yet, but that was only a couple days ago, so I'll give you an update next time I find out. FGUA, I think the interlocal agreement's coming due pretty soon.
The 19th.
The 19th. We're wrapping up comments on that. We received revised plans from Johnson that we're also reviewing. And that's for the interconnect with FGUA, obviously.
Any questions for Stephen?
Yeah, Stephen, I have one question related to the Arborwood. Do we have good as-bills for what they put in terms of stormwater piping?
Yes.
Including irrigation? So we have as-bills if we would put that into our system?
Yes.
Okay, that'll be a first, but that's great.
We know where that pipe is that connects from their pond into Pelican's pond.
Yes.
We do know where it's at.
Yes.
Because at one time we had challenges to where it was at.
Yeah, we knew the water was coming with more sheet flow than a pipe.
Right. Yeah. That's that, what is it, 48 inch of ties in?
Probably.
Does it come in as a bubble up? and then goes
Um,
across and then goes by pipe down to the flowway?
It
wouldn't think
goes
it was.
north into, I believe, the wetland south of Pistoia.
That's what I
That was
thought.
Yeah.
the sheet
Yeah.
flow for there. Is what I-
You know, there's a pipe in Pistoia that was dead-ended, and they tied into that pipe.
Oh, they did tie into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm like Bob.
But then
Make
it
sure
goes
we got
from there
those.
into that wetland, and then it bubbles up there, and then it goes into another control structure to the flowway.
Okay.
I have one other question, if you're not, on the lower Hawthorne wells, refresh me, are these wells that we have not been using and now we're gonna go and use them again?
There is a current well that is being used, and there's some other superficial aquifer wells that are also used. This is a second deeper well for irrigation.
Okay, these are for irrigation.
Yes.
And do we do anything to mitigate the salinity? Is that a
Um,
problem here?
I don't know if we have TDS problems in the wells that we currently have.
Because I know they differentiated in Pelican between the sandstone wells, which were
Right,
shallow, and the Hawthorne, but they do everything they can to never use the Hawthorne water
right.
because it is so high and it's not good for the grasses. And I was
Yeah.
wondering how we mitigated that or whether we don't have that problem.
I wasn't I didn't work with the hydrogeologist that did the design, but I'm sure they looked into that.
We can get somebody from utilities to come answer that
Usually a
question for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's blended, but I don't know what the percentage is because we're restricted. We do have
It is high.
the sandstone, we've got the lower Hawthorne, and then I think we're trying to bring on the water table aquifers as well, but,
so
Austin.
they're never pumped directly into the system?
Okay.
They're blended,
Well,
It's
let's,
supplementary to the reuse we would get
Okay.
from the wastewater.
you got two utility staff who can answer it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill Austin, you might have it there.
Austin Manoli, Assistant Utilities Manager. And what was the question again?
okay, I see we're getting ready to reintroduce the lower Hawthorne well, to recondition it.
Yep.
And I know the salinity content in Pelican is they do everything they can to never use that. And I was wondering how we overcome those issues.
So we have 5 sandstone aquifer wells in addition to the lower Hawthorne aquifer wells that we have. Soon to be wells. We use basically the lower Hawthorne as a supplementary source. Predominantly, we rely on the sandstone aquifer wells, and that dilutes the saline water that comes out of the lower Hawthorne aquifer.
Okay, that's the same thing we're doing, except that they try not to use the Hawthorne at all, but okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
I'd mentioned, Stephen, to Public Works Director, and maybe to utilities, while we got the opportunity, maybe get the drone out and down at the intersection with the roundabout while everything is open. You see all that piping? That is an absolute piping jungle down there, that once that dirt gets back on and that pavement, we'll have no idea where any of that pipe is. I think if you would drop a nickel down in that trench, you'd never hit dirt. There's so many pipes. We need to have preferably a drone go over top of that intersection, take a picture before they cover it up so that we know what's there. I was absolutely flabbergasted that amount of pipe could be in that intersection.
They are required to submit as-built when they're done.
Yeah, we know what as-built are like in this county.
I do like the idea.
I do like, me too.
But I
That's a
can
joke.
tell you, it's pretty much already, all of the utility stuff is done. So they've already covered it up, but
No, I mean, what you can see down there right now, there is a ton of plastic piping
On the center, he's
in
talking
the
about.
center,
Okay.
yeah, that it would be nice to have a
Yes.
picture of it and memorialize it.
And is there a way to identify the pipes with some kind of a reader that?
Well, you'd have to put tapes or marking
Yeah,
tapes,
that's what I was
but
wondering whether that's
but you
worth
might
the-
as well
worth
just
the
lay a
effort.
sheet of saran wrap down there. It's nothing but solid pipe. It's
It is.
unbelievable for that fountain, the amount of pipe.
come to the mic. Bill.
Yeah, but every time we turn around, we find out some reason we
Yeah.
need to get someplace where we shouldn't be.
I-
And we don't have any as-bills.
I don't disagree. I mean, something so simple, we have the drone,
Just take a
let's
picture.
just use it with an hour, staff going there, and it's not even gonna take that long.
Yeah,
Well, I
something
think it's
just
a great
quick to
idea,
have a
but-
picture.
But when you're looking at the piping from the drone picture, how do you know which pipe is which?
Colors.
Mine, there are different colors?
The one
Okay, that
good thing is just to know where the pipe's
No,
at.
they're all white
They're all
pieces.
white.
Are they?
They're
Oh.
different sizes, and the sizes are called out on the
But
plans.
big thing is
So-
try to get
Well,
an
we
idea
will-
of what's there.
We'll take a picture. We'll take a picture. The county does provide aerial photography I believe it's every week or every 2 weeks, and they post it on their website, and I think Randy shares it on our social medias.
If it's under the fountain, you're never gonna dig it up unless you're digging the fountain up.
I need you to knock on
With
wood,
our,
Stephen.
with, the- yeah, knock on, with our luck, we'll be digging it up 20 minutes after it starts.
We'll take a
Say that.
picture.
We
All right.
gave him some-
Anything
yeah.
else for Stephen?
No.
No.
All right, thank you all.
Thanks
Thank you.
for
Thanks,
popping in,
Steve.
though.
Does he have an answer where we are on the building permit, getting that approved?
Yeah,
A couple weeks behind.
we're a couple weeks.
Couple weeks, okay.
Yeah,
Couple
they're gonna resubmit tomorrow. They've resubmitted to South Florida, and they're gonna resubmit to the county tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen. Have a good day.
Okay, admin items.
I'll move on resolution 2024-03, adopting a mission and vision statement.
I'll second.
Will we go over those again?
All right, so we have a
Yeah.
motion and a second. Now in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And would it be possible that right under the clock over there, that we could put something with the mission and the vision statement?
Yes, ma'am.
A little
So-
bit better than the stickies we had up there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
Or
I'm
it might be,
thinking-
might be a good idea to put,
Maybe a
Yeah.
mission on the side up here.
yeah,
We'll incorporate it throughout.
Yeah,
So,
Hopefully it won't hang here very long.
Move it to the new building.
yeah.
Okay.
we memorized already what the vision is?
Yeah. No.
No, I haven't.
It is maintain Gateway's position as a premier community of choice. Thank you, Bob, for printed paper.
See, the old turtle comes through sometimes.
Right, should have charged her for that. All right, so we go with
The FAQs from Stony Brook?
Stony Brook frequently asked questions. Do you have an update for us?
11B, is that?
Or 11B, yeah.
Yep, so I did reach out to the Stony Brook HOA, which they do have representatives here, and asked if they were going to be providing their comments back by the time and date that the board had set at the last meeting. They did say that they had some delays and that they had outside counsel working on it. Tony, was that the same comments that you had the conversation with Katie Burkett about?
I've not had no, I had a conversation on different items. I've not
Different
yet
items,
had the
okay.
conversation with Katie.
Oh,
They have
so-
another attorney involved now.
Okay.
I've dealt with Katie before.
Yeah, we did with Avila, so isn't she the same one we did with Avila?
Yeah, and also on some zoning matters in Cuyahoga County.
Oh,
So
perfect. So,
I just need to connect with Katie and talk.
so we're waiting on the comments from the HOA.
So Joe, you have something? You want to come up here? Hey, just go back up a little. I mean, go down a little on that.
11's different.
Oh,
than-
sorry, never mind.
11 is different in this
Yeah,
category.
I'm saying go down on my phone.
11B is D on ours. I don't have this.
Okay, so there was a revised agenda, okay.
Hi,
So go ahead, Joe.
Joe McCulker from Stony Brook, currently the president of the Master Association. Soon after becoming president at the beginning of last April, I realized we had some problems, and I actually went ahead and initiated a project through our board to hook up with a different law firm. And one of our missions was to actually get to the bottom of the roads, what's going on. And I'm disappointed that that Katie and Tony didn't get a chance to talk this week. I know she was trying to get a hold of you, because we also did a title search, a substantial title search. We went through records, and we've been in contact with the county and with Lennar. And as it turns out, you don't own our roads. So the answers to the frequently asked questions become somewhat moot. At this point in time, Lennar also recognizes that you don't own the roads. You own the title. Not the title, I'm sorry, you own the right-of-way and you own an easement. That's what was transferred over during the process of development. The county does not recognize you as owner of the roads. In fact, from the gatehouse back, for the most part, it is U.S. Homes. In fact, the street I live on is Greenstone Court, actually is owned by Stony Brook right now as far as the county is concerned, and there's a couple of others also. So answering those questions we knew was an exercise in futility, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. We're at that point. After discussions with Charles Mann at Lennar, they are ready to do a quick claim over to Stony Brook, as long as this board and Tony do not object to that. And I think that's been the desire and question to me for many years. Ed, you've asked us to take over the roads, and we can do that without going through the county and without going through all the frustrating experience of
Just a
trying to
simple
get
quick claim deed.
a simple quick claim deed. Their concern is that if they did it over to us right now, they don't want to be sued by you. And I don't think you guys want the roads or would do that. And you can verify this with Chuck and with Joe in the county. What's his last name? Joe Adams.
So it's gonna be a lot easier than what we thought.
That
Much
would be
Well,
tremendously simple.
Madam
if
Chair,
that's the
I would,
case.
Hold on.
There's something
I
we're
would,
missing.
I would
Not that
request that we hold any feedback or comments on this until Tony has had a chance to.
Yeah, and it's not that simple. The roads are dedicated to the district.
They
So are the
originally
district-
were.
no, They
That's
are,
correct.
they are the district's roads. They are dedicated on the plats to the district. The district adopted resolutions accepting ownership and dedicate those easements way back when. So to say the district doesn't own the road, again, fee simple title versus the dedication of the roads to the district is the issue.
So can
So,
I,
but even if the NAR, WCI deeds the roads to the association, the district still has the roads dedicated to the district. And that process, if we're going to try to abandon it or transfer that, again, that's the same issue we've had before, you know,
Hold on.
about
This
giving
is-
it to a private association. So that's still,
This gets real complicated. We went back to the very original, and the reason we couldn't give the roads is because we can't give away the stuff. So we come up with the idea of getting the county involved as the middleman, that we give it to them to give to the HOA.
Yeah.
Now we're finding, I gotta ask, can we take and have Lennar simply give them to you guys just straight and avoid the county whatsoever?
Yeah, that's what
That's what he's saying.
He's under that understanding, but Tony says.
but the issue is we
different.
still have, the roads are dedicated to the district. That's still.
Why
out
do
there.
why do the others think of something different? What do they see that you're seeing?
I don't know, I've
different?
not talked to, no, that's a fact. The fact that the roads are dedicated to the district on the plats. The district accepted the dedication of the roads.
So who
That's-
owns the road?
So that gets back to the whole issue is if the district were to claim its interest to the county, and then Lennar could maybe claim its interest to the county, and then they could give it to the association. But the dedication has to be, the roads have to be abandoned and dedicated, you know.
Put it in English, not the legalese.
It's not, that's not
Do,
that simple.
can we do anything that would allow us to allow Lennar to quit claim them to the HOA?
Lennar's conveyance of the fee simple title is something that is not going to be adverse to the district. That's okay. However, the district is still the owner of the roads by virtue of the dedications. The underlying fee simple title is with Lennar, but the roads are dedicated to the district.
And are the other ones saying that they don't agree with that?
County sees them as private roads right now. That's why we have to pay for the police to come into our property.
The county,
They see it as private roads. Right now, Charles Mann agreed with our attorney after seeing the title search that not everything was completely processed previously. And there are reasons, and I don't want to get into it. I think that's what the attorneys, we pay them.
So
And
well, we
I'm
need to
just
get the
telling you
attorneys
what
all
I'm
in one
told.
room.
I'm sorry?
So we need to get the attorneys all in one room.
Absolutely, or at least talking to each other anyway.
so.
well, yeah,
I-
I've been, and unfortunately, I apologize. I was out of town over the weekend, and then I was going to try to call Katie, but got tied up in some other matters that precluded that from occurring. Katie and I have a good relationship. on
That's
other
what I
matters.
understand.
Is this something we can
Absolutely.
have done for the next meeting?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so.
Oh, absolutely. And one other aspect, the reason the county has definitions of roads and streets, as does the city and most local governments, they consider public roads and streets, county roads, state roads, city roads. They consider special district roads, CDD roads, any other roads as private roads. They're not private streets, but that's their definitions in their
Okay.
land development.
I
If you look at-
understand that, but this came down to a question of who held title. It really did.
Well, fee
And
simple
the
title-
transition and that process along the way. Apparently, there was some kind of a breakdown. And Tony, I'm going to admit to you that I really don't fully understand what the problem was, why it didn't fully trans over to Gateway. But according to everybody else, that this is not owned by Gateway. That's what they're telling
Can
me.
I-
The fee simple title is not held by Gateway. That's different than the roads
The
being
conveyance,
dedicated.
okay, so can we get in a commitment that you get a
Absolutely,
hold
with
of
Katie? Oh,
Katie
yeah.
by the next meeting? And
Oh,
you
before
come
then,
with
I'll do
the-
that tomorrow.
Well, and then you, by the next meeting, we'll have an update from you.
Okay.
Would you like a written update from Tony at the 19th meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now I understand the possibility
Or prior
of
to.
sending out this letter. This letter might have some factually
Totally.
incorrect stuff in it.
More
It
than
may,
that.
maybe,
It may
in
not
all
even not need,
purposes,
it may not
we may not even
really
need to
it.
do anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It-
thinking, we may not.
I'll say this, and I didn't speak to him personally, but what I was told by Katie, Charles Mann, his only concern is that he doesn't have a problem with the district. He's ready to do it, so.
Okay.
If you
Let's
can
hope
get
it gets
action
done.
out of Charles Mann, please help me.
Charles Mann's the
Let me
attorney
tell
with
you,
Pavis.
I've been there a long time ago,
You're
too.
talking about Charles Mann that's with Pavis.
Yeah.
They're representing Lennar.
Yes.
Tony's been dealing with them on all of
Yes.
the straggler parcels that we're still trying to
Okay.
get conveyed
This
over to
actually
us, so-
cleans things up for Lennar in some ways, and I think that's
The
where they
infamous
love to have
stragglers.
it too.
Yes, the infamous straggler.
Well, that's good news. Nice,
Yeah,
nice work, Joe.
Okay.
At least all
That's
that.
about all I got to say about that.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, so we're gonna
Sounded
basically
like Forrest Gump.
table 11B
Mhm.
for
Because then we all revised, yeah.
some point.
Till the
Thanks,
next
Joe.
meeting.
In fact, I will email Katie right now. So
Awesome.
Zach and her had lunch last week or 2 weeks ago. So,
Well, that could be
All right, the next.
It
a
can,
hell of an opportunity.
it's,
All right,
for them, it's great, yeah.
do we
Merry
have a
Christmas.
master plan?
It's too
That's what I,
simple.
okay.
But do we have?
So that's why that's being held.
You have to vacate it for the county commission.
Okay, so, for purposes of structure of this agenda, it appears that what is online and what was printed in front of you are not the same.
That's correct.
We had some items that we had moved forward, so I apologize. So on what you have in front of you on your paper,
Commons Masters.
Commons Master.
C and D.
C and D.
were not on,
That's- they weren't on the original.
So item B on the agenda that's online is actually item D.
Okay, so then the next item that we would jump to is the National Fitness Campaign.
So
We're
what are
not
we
gonna do
doing
the
with
comments?
Okay,
C?
wait,
We're gonna table it for the
The
next.
B and C on your printed agenda were not what was online.
Here's the-
Because,
here's the
Okay.
slide.
please let me finish. So these were pushed forward because we had not received the information from.
Okay, so we need to
Okay.
strike them from this agenda. They'll be on the
Yes.
next agenda. Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
do we want to strike it, or we want to amend it and open it back to the public so they can make comments, which probably gonna be none, because you already made it.
No, because it's
So
not, it
they're gonna
wasn't,
be on the
it's
next
not on the
meeting.
agenda. Like, it's not, just
It's not on the
Ignore it.
printed.
ignore it.
Your
This is-
Strike it.
This is the agenda that's online. If you look, here's 11.
Yeah.
It only has A and B is actually D on the paper copy that you have in front of you. Those items B and C on your paper copy do not exist on the published agenda.
I apologize.
So we can't.
The Commons, we don't have the Commons Master Plan
Okay.
in front of you.
Okay.
Okay,
We
so
don't
that's
have
what I was saying, if we have
We
it,
don't
why we're
know.
delaying it?
Well, I
Okay.
thought that we also wanted that to be able to talk about the D.
Yeah,
Well, that's, we
So
wanted.
they all need to be tied together.
Well, that's what I wanted to, we told the National Fitness Campaign folks that we were gonna bring this back to you for a discussion at the next meeting, so I wanted to hold true to that conversation. And part of this is having this conversation that you tasked staff with inspecting and looking at alternative options, and we have found some alternative options that I would suggest that we say thanks but no thanks at this time. We may consider this as part of our larger master plan. We did reach back out to them and ask if they could go all in to include shade as well, and I don't believe that was an option. So, again, we said we'd bring this back to you at today's meeting.
Is
so-
this something that we, if we happen to table this item for the next board meeting, for when we have the Commons, the master part plan, could we do that, or do we need to decide? I can't remember the deadlines. that we-
I would much rather just say, we're gonna pass on this for now, and then come back to them at a future date, and explain to them we're considering a master phase one,
I would too.
and going to the point of looking at, you know, all of the playground companies that we've touched base with, most of them offer the similar things, so we wanna do a better cost analysis.
okay, sounds good.
We could always go back to them.
The only thing
Yes.
that we're deferring
Say
really at this
sorry.
point in time is $30,000.
Say, sorry, we
Thanks, but
changed
no
our-
thanks.
Yeah.
I think we're fine. You don't need a motion or anything. We're just, okay.
And I think when we talked about it last time, we were also going to think about packaging it, that this would be one item of
That's what we're
Three.
talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
for a playground area and also pickleball courts.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the phase one of the master,
Multi-phased.
phase one of the master park plan. So it's a good and a bad thing because we didn't get it in time from Holmontes, but PrAC also canceled they didn't have quorum last week, so they'll be able to look at the phase one before you all at your October 19th meeting, and we've got two options that Holmontes is drafted based on the original plan, so.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Moving right along.
District manager, August monthly reports.
All right. So I just want to remind you, this report is the August report. At the October 19th meeting, you'll have the September, since we had canceled the second September meeting. So we're playing catch up right now. So you answered the question that we asked in the administrative report, so that's a moot point. But do you have any questions for Laura for the administrative side? No? Okay. And with that, so I will take, since Andrew had put this report together, I will take over if you have any questions about the Public Works one for August. Daniel will be taking these moving forward in the future, but during the transition,
This is the one that we have the Lee County Sheriff's Office, or was in the admin?
that was in the
That's
admin.
fine. Okay, sorry, I have one on that one.
Okay. Did you want to jump back to the admin?
Yeah, so do you want to go back to what we have the detail for?
Which page do you want? You're talking about the one?
Yeah, that
The
was
agreement, yeah.
Which one?
That was
The
under
original.
consent. The actual, you want,
You're talking about the report that this?
So I'll just go over. So Chelsea and I talked about this because we're looking at what we requested them to do for us, which was 1 day, I believe, of traffic control, mainly on Gateway Boulevard, and 3 days of security detail, which would include the pool, the soccer field, and the fun park. So then we
and area communities as
yes,
possible.
yeah. So, but then when we look at the times that we requested, it was 6 a.m. to, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. for monitoring
Traffic. of Gateway.
traffic, like say Griffin and the parking and all that. We don't have a problem at that time, so I wanted Chelsea to amend, our direction to Lee County Sheriff's Office and ask for either an additional, because it's within budget, an additional detail to cover between 1 and 4, which would cover both schools plus the school in Westlink.
Well, do you want 1 and 4? Do you, like 11 and 2 or something?
Well,
Whatever
if-
4-hour
if-
window that
If you do one
encompasses.
if you do one between 1 and 4, you will cover Griffin and you'll cover that school. So he can do
Okay.
1 week Griffin, 1 week on Westlink.
Okay.
Because
So adding an additional traffic detail 1 day a week, specifically in the afternoon, focusing on the schools.
exactly,
Okay.
they can do traffic control, but because we already have one for traffic control, so this will focus the school, because that's when we realized that we weren't paying for that middle time, and that's when the problem is. So
bring
that-
their ticket book.
Exactly.
And we would have them, you'd want them to rotate that day, right?
Yeah, yes, that's
so
how,
it'd be-
that's how we have it. It's up 1 day a week. They tell us when, or I don't think, and they can do 1 week here, 1 week there, or 2 weeks here, 1 week there, whatever how they do it, that's fine.
But the impetus is Monday through Friday, 1 to 4, traffic of the schools,
yeah.
the school areas.
I will have to say the Gateway Elementary, and I did mention this to Chelsea over here, I don't know what they worked out, but it has improved like 85%. So whatever they did is
You talking
great.
about on the boulevard.
On Griffin, the one right next to us.
Oh,
So
okay.
whatever they did here, it has improved, I mean, way beyond what I expected. The high school is still a major issue. Like yesterday, I literally saw the bus driving on the wrong side of the roundabout to enter the school. Like the wrong side of the road. So they were coming from 82, instead of going straight because it's blocked, they went to this opposite side.